We dive into the first topic of conversation on this evening, which is, can Nick Saban and the Crimson Tide win the college football playoff national championship for this season? Our good friends at WagerTalkSports.com, they put out some odds earlier in the year, and they have recently updated those odds. According to Wager Talk, Clemson has the best odds to win the national championship at plus 225. Behind Clemson, you have Ohio State with odds of plus 350. Alabama is third with odds of plus 450. And then Georgia and the reigning national champion LSU Tigers round out at teams 4 and 5. So those are just the odds. They're presented by WagerTalkSports.com. The Crimson Tide, not the clear-cut favorite to win the national championship in 2020. And part of that reason is Tua Tagovailoa, now in the National Football League, or pursuing the National Football League, has declared for the NFL draft. And if Tua was to have told Nick Saban, Coach, I'm not going anywhere. I want one more year with you. I want one more year with my teammates. I want one more year to push Alabama toward a national championship. If Tua would have decided to come back, then the national appeal across the landscape would have been Alabama's the clear-cut favorite, because nationally, regardless of what Alabama's defense would look like, people feel as though Tua has the extraordinary talent to offset any negative thing or any struggling issue. Now, am I saying that Mac Jones does not have the capability, does not have the ability to lead this team to a national championship? That's not what I'm saying. He absolutely does. But what I'm saying, in terms of the national audience, where the national appeal is concerned, if Tua was to have told Coach Saban, hey, Coach, I'm coming back, the national audience would have felt like no matter what happens, Tua gives Alabama that clear-cut opportunity to win the national championship. But one of the things I look at here is this 2020 season. It is very similar to the 2015 season for Alabama, in the sense of Alabama's been here before, y'all. Not too many people or teams have the opportunity to say, I've been here before. This is a familiar setting. This is a familiar situation. Case in point, you have somebody that has battled a deadly disease, and I don't wish diseases on nobody, but you have someone that's battled a deadly disease, and they were able to whoop that disease, fight it, beat it. The next time a sickness comes about, this particular person's going to feel confident because they know, hey, I took on this giant and I beat it, right? So in the same sense for Alabama football, 2020, this upcoming season, very similar to the 2015 season. If you go back to that time, 2013 and 2014, Alabama did not win a national championship in neither of those 2 years. And there was problems on defense in both of those 2 seasons. And when you look at the summer of the 2015, or prior to the 2015 season, the major talking heads were basically stating how, Alabama's not the clear-cut favorite to win the national championship. Alabama's not the clear-cut favorite to win an SEC title. Some people had Auburn as the clear-cut favorite for the SEC. Some had Georgia. Some had LSU. Some even had Ole Miss with what Hugh Freeze was building down there in Oxford, Mississippi. And for most of the national talking heads, the conversation was Alabama's got too many question marks, right? Question marks on the offensive line, question marks on the defense, question marks at wide receiver, big question mark at quarterback. But the Tide with Jacob Coker at quarterback, they found a way to get it done. I go back to, despite the loss to Ole Miss in week 3 of a 2015 season, week 4, they go up against Georgia in Sanford Stadium, between the hedges in Athens. It's raining. The field is soaking wet, drenched. I believe Alabama was a 1-point underdog going into that game, and the Crimson Tide found a way to get a 38-10 thumping of Georgia, and it rolled that momentum all the way to win a national championship. And, I look at this season coming up, and just like that 2015 season, you had Blake Sims, of whom graduated on to the next level, and you brought back Jacob Coker, Cooper Bateman, Alec Morris. You signed a 5-star guy, one of the first 5-star of the Nick Saban era at quarterback, in Blake Barnett out of San Diego High School, Corona, California. This time around, kind of the same deal. Alabama graduates Tua Tagovailoa to the next phase of his career of the National Football League. You return Mac Jones, entering his 4th year in the program. Jones, kind of like Jacob Coker. Tua Tagovailoa will kind of feel like Cooper Bateman, if you will. Now, Cooper Bateman was a highly talented young man when he came to Alabama in 2013 as a 4-star from Murray, Utah, Cottonwood High School. So Talia would kind of fit the Cooper Bateman. When you look at Paul Tyson, he would fit the comparison to Alec Morris, though Paul Tyson's bigger than Alec Morris, taller, better arm. And of course, Bryce Young could be way better potentially than Blake Barnett was. But you see the picture that I'm trying to paint here, folks. 2015 or 2020 kind of carries the same gist as 2015. Now, the big thing for Alabama in this upcoming season will be that Week 3 matchup against Georgia. Depending on how Alabama handles Georgia, due to the emotions of this game, the faces that are going to be on the field, the headline storylines you're going to be able to come up with, the fans are going to be at a feverish pitch inside Bryant-Denny Stadium. I feel like this should be a night game. And I'm hoping that September 19th will be a night game in Bryant-Denny. But depending on how Alabama handles Georgia in Week 3, if Alabama can go out there and manhandle Georgia, beat them decisively, play the style of football that you, the Alabama Crimson Tide fan, knows that your team is capable of playing, Alabama goes out there and handles Georgia, it goes a long way to the Crimson Tide winning the national championship. Because to me, it's kind of like this. Remember how the LSU game was always the game to determine where Alabama could go to the national championship or not, and the players expounded so much physical and mental energy against LSU every single year, and you, the fans, you expound so much energy, whether it's food prep, whether it's getting to the game, cheering, yelling, screaming. For some of y'all do the pregame prep thing. So you expound so much energy prior to LSU. You, the fans, and of course the players on the field. This time around, I feel like the Week 3 matchup against Georgia is where players will empty the tank, coaches will empty the tank, and U.S. fans will empty the tank just due to the magnitude of this game. Week 3 of the season has a game of the year type feeling. And if Mac Jones goes out here and he shows I can balance this offense, but at the same time, I can run this offense and I can entertain the fan base as I'm running this offense, with the main goal being win a national championship. And if the Alabama defense stays healthy, all the pieces stay in pocket, most importantly, Pete Golding, if he can have the confidence to make the right calls on the field, if he can have the confidence to make sure the substitutions are in order, the shuffling is in order, the calls are being communicated across the entire field, and most importantly, he's putting guys in situations where they can be successful, I truly believe Alabama will be the national champion this season, or this upcoming season. But right now, according to Waitr Talk, Clemson has the best odds at plus 220, followed by Ohio State. Alabama is third. But we're going to go to our first break here on In My Own Words, the podcast. Don't touch that dial, just getting started. When we come back, we'll dive into your phone calls, tweets, text messages, concerns, and chats in the YouTube line after this.
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care, in support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99, and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $5.95 per month or pay $49.95 for a full year subscription. That's a saving of almost $22. Make sure to subscribe before it's too late and get our new freshly printed end of the year magazine issue. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
Thank you for watching Touchdown Alabama Magazine's YouTube channel. To continue to get the best in Alabama football content, subscribe here and turn on your notifications to stay connected with the hottest shows covering your Crimson Tide.